Welcome back everyone to It's Not Easy Being Green Screen, and is Bombjack going to find it easy on green again? We'll find out in a few short moments with Bombjack 2 on the Amstrad CPC. This was obviously an exclusive sequel to the original for the home micros. Came out on Commodore 64, the Spectrum and a few others, I think. Actually, thinking about it, it's probably just for them three, wasn't it? Again, lovely little colour rolling demo on the menu screens there. Fantastic. I love the way they do that on these games. I don't know why they do it on Bombjack, but fantastic. But either way, here we go. Now this is a very different game to the first one. Bombjack he's lost his cape and his ability to fly, apparently. He can jump between platforms. This is actually a very entertaining game. It's different to the original, like I say, in gameplay terms. You have to adapt slightly, and the enemies behave differently. Bombjack himself behaves differently, and he's not even collecting bombs. It should be called Cash Jack, something along those lines. We're going around catching basically sacks of gold, and yes, jump onto the platforms. You've got to find which platforms connect to what other platforms via jumps, whilst avoiding the enemies and using your little stabby penny sword, I guess it is, I'm not sure, to stab the dinosaurs and the monsters and whatnot out of the way. And then you can see they've all got power bars at the bottom there, in the bottom corner, and you've got your power bar on the top corner there, all in HUD at the side, which is very nicely presented and give really lovely backgrounds as well. Again, just like the first one had really nice chunky backgrounds, but nice backgrounds. This also does have that as well. Lovely sort of Stonehenge at dawn here. It's beautiful. So colour-wise, it's fantastic again, but what happens when we take all that colour away? Well, we saw what happens on the original. Lots of the background went very, very dark. Hope so. It's not going to happen again. So let's pause the game at the Sydney Opera House. That blue I'm worried about. Let's go green. Yeah, I was rightly worried about that. It went very dark. The sea's gone really dark there. Now what's happened here? So as we can see, the enemy sprites are quite similarly shaded in the dark colours, and they kind of get lost with each other. That kind of happens when it's in colour as well, but not so much. It's so much less prevalent. Wow, that's bright. Well, the sun came up at the Taj Mahal and blinded me, and it also blinded Bombjack's face as well. As you can see, it's exactly the background is exactly the same shade as his chops. So now he's got a see-through face. It's the invisible Bombjack. Invisible jumping bloody Bombjack. But this one is actually a lot more clearer defined for the enemies, I can see. Can't see obviously the little puffs of smoke when you blow the enemies up. That's gone. Can't see that completely. It's completely disappeared especially when it's against the light background. So very bright, very, very bright, that one. Completely in stark contrast to the previous level. So if you're adjusting your eyes to the previous level and then suddenly that happens, wow. And then the polar opposite for this level. Completely dark on the old Spacescaper thing. I think, what is this? It's is it supposed to be the Great Wall of China? I think it is. With the moon in the background. The unopened bags of gold are getting blended in with the dark. Getting completely blended in with the black. The background, because the shade of green is so dark, the blackness of the background is completely disappearing. I got completely disappeared there. There's a lot of colour clashing going on it. There's a lot of shade clashing, should I say, not colour clashing, green clashing. There's a lot of shade clashing with this now. It's again playable, just like the first game, very playable still, but again off-putting. You can't quite define certain things, and when the fundamental crux of the game is actually working out what platforms to jump to and when, and getting your timing right, to be put off by the fact that you're not quite making out the enemies, and sometimes not even making out Jack himself, that can be a little disorientating and very irritating to the game. The platforms all seem rather vivid though still. All the colour bars have completely been ruined, of course. I mean, you can barely see the upper ends of the colour bars. Barely see them at all. This actually looks the best so far, this mountainscape. This is actually very bright sky again, but again, you can see everything quite clearly this time. There's a nice little set of contrasts with the shades. Nothing's really going amiss this time. Oh, maybe when the enemy evolves into that sort of other weird robot-y creature thing, getting a bit blended in there with the mountains. But again, it's a case of the same thing. Too many sprites, too many parts, moving important parts of the game are getting merged in with the background because the shading just all clashes completely. Which is a damn shame. It's actually fared worse than the original Bombjack, I think, when it comes to green. It would have been a bit disappointing to have this back... oh, that's nice, though. I must admit, Stonehenge does look nice. Again, lots of darkness there, and some of the sacks of gold are getting disappeared. Getting disappeared? Oh, God, bloody hell. Completely knackered that up, didn't I? There we go, jump over there. So yes, by and large, still playable, but very disappointing if you were expecting something, you know, as a backup to the, as a follow-up to the original when it comes to colour, when it comes to the green. The first game fared better. There we go, Bombjack 2 in green on the Amstrad CPC. Cheers, Novabug out. And now I'm going to show you the loading screen, of course.